It was a rainy Thursday afternoon when Mark Jennings, a 46-year-old marketing consultant from Seattle, first noticed something different about Olivia Carter, the 27-year-old new hire at his firm. She had been brought on as a junior strategist and had quickly made waves with her creativity and sharp instincts. Mark, who had been with the company for almost 2 decades, had seen young professionals come and go, but there was something about Olivia that stood out, not just in her work ethic, but in the way she looked at him. First, he dismissed it. He had grown used to being a mentor figure to younger staff. But Olivia wasn't just respectful, she was attentive. When they talked, her eyes didn't wander. She listened deeply, laughed at his jokes even when they were dry, and made subtle comments that lingered in his mind long after the conversation ended. One day, as they sat side by side in a conference room preparing for a client pitch, she turned to him and said, "I always feel like I learn more from you in 10 minutes than I did in 4 years of school." It was flattering, but it was the way she said it, soft, intentional, that gave him pause. Mark brushed off the thought again. Maybe she was just being kind. Maybe he was reading too much into it. After all, there was an age gap. But over the weeks, those phrases kept coming. "I always feel safe around you. I wish more people saw the world the way you do. No one else really gets me like you do." He started noticing how Olivia found reasons to linger after meetings. She'd ask for his opinion on things that weren't even work-related. She'd laugh more when he was around, smile a bit longer, and gently touch his arm during casual moments. When he brought coffee into the office, she remembered his order the next day and returned the gesture. There was a comfort between them, unspoken but undeniably present. Things came to a quiet head one evening when they were the last two in the office. Everyone else had gone home, and rain pattered gently against the windows. Olivia sat at her desk, looking over a campaign proposal, when Mark walked by to say goodnight. She looked up, smiled, and said, "You're really the only reason I like coming in some days." He stopped in his tracks. The room was silent. The hum of the heater filled the air. That was the moment he could no longer deny it. This wasn't casual. This wasn't friendly admiration. Still, he was cautious, professional, careful not to assume. "I appreciate that," he said, his voice steady. "But you've got plenty of reasons to be proud of the work you're doing too." She nodded, but her eyes lingered. "Yeah, but it's not just about the work anymore. You make things feel meaningful." Mark spent that night tossing and turning. He hadn't been in a serious relationship since his divorce 5 years earlier. He had built a life of routine and stability. The idea of someone as vibrant and young as Olivia having real feelings for him was not something he had prepared for. The next morning, Olivia came into his office holding 2 mugs. "Coffee," she offered with a smile. He noticed she was wearing a soft blue sweater that complemented her eyes. "You didn't have to," he said, taking the cup. "I wanted to." She sat down across from him. "Can I ask you something personal?" "Sure," he said, intrigued. "Have you ever felt like someone completely unexpected just understood you? Like you didn't see them coming, but they show up and everything feels lighter?" He looked at her, speechless for a moment. That wasn't a generic question. That was a message. "I have," he said quietly. "Recently, in fact." Her smile deepened and her eyes twinkled. "Good. I was hoping you'd say that." From that moment, their relationship began to change in subtle ways. There was still professionalism, still boundaries, but there was also undeniable closeness. She began saying things like, "You make me want to be better. I always feel seen when I'm with you. You bring out something in me I didn't even know I had." Mark found himself opening up too. He told her things he hadn't told anyone in years, about the challenges of being a single dad, the pressure of staying relevant in a fast-paced industry, the loneliness that sometimes crept in during quiet weekends. Olivia listened, not with pity but with understanding. One Friday evening, after a long presentation that had gone exceptionally well, the office celebrated with drinks at a nearby bar. Mark had only planned to stay for one drink, but Olivia pulled him aside and said, "Stay a little longer? It's not the same without you. They ended up in a quiet corner booth, away from the others. Conversation flowed easily. She laughed at his stories, he listened to hers, and somewhere in the middle of their third round, she said it. I don't know how to say this without sounding crazy, but I think I'm falling for you. The world seemed to slow down. He wasn't sure if he was breathing. He looked at her, trying to gauge whether this was just a fleeting feeling or something deeper. But there was no hesitation in her eyes. No mischief. Just honesty. I didn't plan for this, she continued. But every time I talk to you I feel more alive. And when you're not around I miss you. It's not just admiration. It's more. Mark swallowed the lump in his throat. I felt it too, he admitted. But I didn't want to overstep. You're not overstepping, she said. You're exactly where I want you to be. That night didn't end in anything impulsive or rushed. They walked back to their cars together, talked under the streetlights, and parted ways with a gentle hug. But the air between them was different now. Electrified. Real. In the weeks that followed, they handled things carefully. They disclosed their relationship to HR when it became more serious, wanting to maintain transparency and professionalism. Surprisingly, the company respected their openness and simply ensured no conflicts of interest. Their relationship grew slowly, respectfully. Mark realized that the age gap, while present, wasn't a barrier. They had different experiences, but their values aligned. Olivia wasn't infatuated with an older man. She admired the steadiness, the emotional intelligence, the way he listened, how he saw her beyond her looks or age. And Mark wasn't seeking someone young for shallow reasons. Olivia challenged him. She reminded him of the excitement of life. She believed in him when he sometimes doubted himself. Together they brought out the best in each other. One night, as they sat watching the sunset from his back porch, Olivia rested her head on his shoulder and said, "You make me feel safe and wild at the same time. I didn't know that was possible." He smiled and kissed her forehead. "You make me believe that love can find you no matter where you are in life." Those phrases she used at the beginning, they had all been hints. Not manipulative or calculated, but sincere expressions of her growing affection. "I always feel like myself around you. You're the one person I can always count on. I wish I had met you sooner." Each one had been a breadcrumb, leading Mark out of his emotional solitude and into something vibrant, something healing. In the end, it wasn't about the age. It was about connection. About two people who saw each other fully and chose to embrace the unexpected. Because sometimes when a younger woman is falling for you, she doesn't always say it directly, but she shows it in the things she says, the way she lingers, the way her eyes soften when she sees you.